Manor Lords is a failure. The solo developed game with 2 million copies sold is a failure. It's not. This is the poison of the industry. It's this kind of thing. Here, let me read it to you. And excuse me, but TikTok has just been a pain in the ass today. Sorry. Manor Lords is a pretty interesting case study of the pitfalls of early access development when a game with a small team and heavily marketed as such, one person, hits that reality of a hungry audience. I should preface this by saying I own the game and have played it extensively and generally really love what is here. What's in the game is also high quality, so there's no issue with any of that. But there's so little of it. So little of it. And then they go on to rail against the game because it should have more game modes. It needs to have more systems. It needs to have all this stuff. Yeah, it's almost like this single person developer not having a team to play test it with, put it in the early access so they could get feedback, and now has a bunch of money so they can spend their time working on this game and making it better. What they shouldn't do is hire 5,000 people so they can lay them off next week. That is what keeps happening in this industry, and this industry veteran is telling people that's what they should do. It's literally saying that they should just grow, add a bunch of game modes, a bunch of stuff that nobody cares about, nobody wants in the game, but they should add that because then they can become the next Google or whatever, right? Like they can't, nobody's mom taught them what the word enough means. And so we have this constant desire for growth, explosive growth. They've got to have a plan for the next 30 years. They're leaving money on the table. Why don't they have merch? All this poison. Instead, you have a game developer who wants to make a good game, who's making a good game. And they're adding stuff to it, and they're doing it with the community and getting feedback. And so you know what happens? You know what happens when you do that, and you don't just fake that. It means you release something, the community gives you feedback, and then you build on that. So that means you need to wait for that feedback cycle, right? It's a cycle. And that makes the game better. But what it doesn't make is an explosive giant company that VCs can back and This is on LinkedIn. I'm not going to post a person. I unfollowed them. I'm going to block them. Someone I talked to before. Because this is just poison. This is just the poison of the industry that you cannot be happy that you sold 2 million copies of a $30 game. Oh no, don't be happy. Don't be happy. No, dude, you single person off there working on the game by yourself. You're a failure. What? Oh my God, this isn't even this late stage capital. This is just gross, ugly human being capital. This is just, can we occasionally, when we've got the money, make a game because we love making games, and we're making a game because the community loves what we're making, and we have a feedback loop with that, and guess what? It's going to take some time, but it's in early access. You can play it for a little bit, you can stop playing it. It doesn't need to be a forever game. Oh, yes, it does. Oh my God, yes, it does. No. It can be the game that you play once a year. I play Civ 4 still. I play it because of the heat. I don't play it every day, nonstop. I play it once or twice a year. And you know what? Is that a failure? Redefining success in this really grotesque, all or nothing way. Just gotta stop, man. It's gotta stop.